Top 108 Charles Bukowski quotes. I guess the only time most people think about injustice is when it happens to them. It's not so much that nothing means anything, but more that it keeps meaning nothing. There's no release, just gurus and self-appointed gods and hucksters. The more people say, the less there is to say. Even the best books are dry sawdust. If it doesn't come bursting out of you in spite of everything, don't do it. I guess we often get the deep blues, both of us, and wonder what it all means, the people, the buildings, the day-by-day things, the waste of time, of ourselves. All a guy needed was a chance. Somebody was always controlling who got a chance and who didn't. Slavery was never abolished, it was only extended to include all the colors. They never pay the slaves enough so they can get free, just enough so they can stay alive and come back to work. Love is a fog that burns with the first daylight of reality. For each Joan of Arc there is a Hitler perched at the other end of the teeter-totter. Boring damned people. All over the earth. Propagating more boring damned people. What a horror show. The earth swarmed with them. Love is a dog from hell. Not to have entirely wasted one's life seems to be a worthy accomplishment, if only for myself. Style is the answer to everything. A fresh way to approach a dull or dangerous thing. To do a dull thing with style is preferable to doing a dangerous thing without it. To do a dangerous thing with style is what I call art. I read my books at night, like that, under the quilt with the overheated reading lamp. Reading all those good lines while suffocating. It was magic. To do a dull thing with style now, that's what I call art. I am a series of small victories and large defeats, and I am as amazed as any other that I have gotten from there to here. It began as a mistake. I loved you like a man loves a woman he never touches, only writes to, keeps little photographs of. If you want to know who your friends are, get yourself a jail sentence. Censorship is the tool of those who have the need to hide actualities from themselves and from others. I write right off the typer. I call it my machine gun. I hit it hard, usually late at night while drinking wine and listening to classical music on the radio and smoking Mangalore Ganesh BDs. The difference between a brave man and a coward is a coward thinks twice before jumping in the cage with a lion. The brave man doesn't know what a lion is. He just thinks he does. Beauty is nothing, beauty won't stay. You don't know how lucky you are to be ugly, because if people like you, you know it's for something else. The more crap you believe, the better off you are. If you can't write the next line, well, you're dead. The past doesn't matter. That's how it is with books, isn't it? They're not in a hurry. They'll wait for you till you're ready. People empty me. I have to go away to refill. That's the problem with drinking, I thought, as I poured myself a drink. If something bad happens, you drink in an attempt to forget. If something good happens, you drink in order to celebrate. And if nothing happens, you drink to make something happen. I didn't have any friends at school, didn't want any. I felt better being alone. I sat on a bench and watched the others play, and they looked foolish to me. To be young is the only religion. Goodness can be found sometimes in the middle of hell. Once a woman turns against you, forget it. They can love you, then something turns in them. They can watch you dying in a gutter, run over by a car, and they'll spit on you. The 9 to 5 is one of the greatest atrocities sprung upon mankind. You give your life to a function that doesn't interest you. This situation so repelled me that I was driven to drink, starvation, and mad females simply as an alternative. The difference between art and life is that art is more bearable. Anybody can be a non-drunk. It takes a special talent to be a drunk. It takes endurance. Endurance is more important than truth. There is nothing as boring as the truth. I think that the world should be full of cats and full of rain, that's all, just cats and rain, rain and cats, very nice, good night. They swallow God without thinking, they swallow country without thinking. Soon they forget how to think, they let others think for them. Keep your money in your pocket. Or bet it on a good horse. If there are junkyards in hell, love is the dog that guards the gates. Human relationships are strange. I mean, you are with one person a while, eating and sleeping and living with them, loving them, talking to them, going places together, and then it stops. I wish to weep, but sorrow is stupid. I wish to believe, but belief is a graveyard. Most of the world was mad. And the part that wasn't mad was angry. And the part that wasn't mad or angry was just stupid. I had no chance. I had no choice. Just hang on and wait for the end. It was hard work. It was the hardest work imaginable. And don't forget, time is meant to be wasted, love fails, and death is useless. When a hot woman meets a hermit, one of them is going to change. I want so much that is not here and do not know where to go. Almost everyone is born a genius and buried an idiot. Let M learn or let M die. I wasn't a misanthrope and I wasn't a misogynist, but I liked being alone. It felt good to sit alone in a small space and smoke and drink. I had always been good company for myself. Insanity is relative. Who sets the norm? It's 4:30 in the morning, it's always 4:30 in the morning. The shortest distance between 2 points is often unbearable. Sexual intercourse is kicking death in the ass while singing. I will remember the kisses, our lips raw with love, and how you gave me everything you had and how I offered you what was left of me. I would certainly end up forever crying the blues into a coffee cup in a park for old men playing chess or silly games of some sort. A love like that was a serious illness, an illness from which you never entirely recover. People with no morals often considered themselves more free, but mostly they lacked the ability to feel or love. True revolution comes from true revulsion. When things get bad enough, the kitten will kill the lion. Things will be far worse than they are now. And far better. I wait. What a weary time those years were, to have the desire and the need to live, but not the ability. Death is nothing, brother, it's life that's hard. Some people like what you do, some people hate what you do, but most people simply don't give a damn. Maybe when I get in the grave, things will be beautiful. Are you becoming what you've always hated? We're all going to die, all of us, what a circus. Long before I became rich and famous, I just sat round drinking wine and staring at the walls. The fuckers. There, I feel better. Goddamned human race. There, I feel better. The trouble with these people is that their cities have never been bombed and their mothers have never been told to shut up. New Year's Eve always terrifies me. Many a good man has been put under the bridge by a woman. There are only two things wrong with money, too much or too little. I never felt right being alone. Sometimes it felt good, but it never felt right. I knew I was strong, and maybe, like they said, crazy. But I had this feeling inside of me that something real was there. An early taste of death is not necessarily a bad thing. Knowledge without follow-through is worse than no knowledge. I don't know about other people, but when I wake up in the morning and put my shoes on, I think, Jesus Christ, now what? Drinking is another way of thinking, another way of living. It gives you two lives instead of one. It's nice enough to make a man weep, but I don't weep, do you? There is a loneliness in this world so great that you can see it in the slow movement of the hands of a clock. People so tired, mutilated either by love or no love. People in love often become edgy, dangerous. They lose their sense of perspective. Don't wait for the good woman. She doesn't exist. I have gotten so used to melancholia that I greet it like an old friend. Cautiously, I allowed myself to feel good at times. I found moments of peace in cheap rooms just staring at the knobs of some dresser or listening to the rain in the dark. The less I needed, the better I felt. Style is the answer to everything. A fresh way to approach a dull or dangerous thing. The crazy ones only laugh when there is no reason to laugh. In my next life, I want to be a cat. To sleep 20 hours a day and wait to be fed. To sit around licking my ass. I enjoy the bad things that are said about me. It enhances sales and makes me feel evil. I don't like to feel good cause I am good. But evil? Yes. It gives me another dimension. Love is a form of prejudice. You love what you need, you love what makes you feel good, you love what is convenient. How can you say you love one person when there are 10,000 people in the world that you would love more if you ever met them? But you'll never meet them. It will rain all this night and we will sleep transfixed by the dark water as our blood runs through our fragile life. I had no freedom. I had nothing. I am a series of small victories and large defeats. I met a genius on the train today, about 6 years old. He sat beside me, and as the train ran down along the coast we came to the ocean, and then he looked at me and said, "It's not pretty." I remember awakening one morning and finding everything smeared with the color of forgotten love. I heard an airplane passing overhead. I wished I was on it. Never get out of bed before noon. Genius might be the ability to say a profound thing in a simple way. My part of the game is that I must live the best I can. There is no hurry. Time means nothing to you. Food is good for the nerves and the spirit. Courage comes from the belly, all else is desperation. We use such big words to move nowhere. Sundays kill more people than bombs.